Democracy under threat. Why Nigerians are protesting the Senate's electoral decision. Good evening, Nigerians. This is CorperNews. I am Favour, Gina, Ogbonnia, Chukwu. Now, a heated political crisis is unfolding at the National Assembly in Abuja, and it's about more than ordinary politics. It's about the credibility of Nigerians' elections and the sanctity of every voter's voice. Across the capital, thousands of citizens, including civil society activists, youth groups, and prominent public figures, have taken to the streets and to the gates of the National Assembly to demand a stronger electoral law. Their focus? The way election results will be transmitted in the future polls, especially the 2027 general elections. What's at the heart of the protests? At the center of the controversy is the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026. Many Nigerians want a law that makes real-time electronic transmission of election results compulsory. This will require results from each polling unit to be uploaded immediately onto the Independent National Electoral Commission's public portal once voting ends, reducing opportunities for manipulation or alteration during collation. However, the Senate has rejected mandatory real-time transmission and instead passed an amendment that allows electronic transmission without explicitly insisting it must happen in real time. The law now says results shall be transmitted electronically, but if technology fails, signed physical result forms, there's a form EC8A, will still serve as a basis for collation and declaration. Why this matters? Critics argue this weakens electoral transparency because it fails to guarantee immediate and public uploading of results from polling units. It leaves room for delays and disputes that plagued the 2023 general elections, when promised real-time transmission often didn't happen as expected. Many Nigerians see the senator's argument that poor network coverage makes real-time uploads difficult as insufficient, given that digital systems work nationwide every single day. This has sparked widespread distrust, with speakers asking, if technology works for banking, communication, and other sectors, why shouldn't it be compulsory for elections? The response has been intense. Protests, demonstrations continue at the National Assembly entrance, with protesters carrying signs like "Our votes must count" and "Protect democracy now." Now, security forces have tightened access around the legislature. Prominent figures like the former presidential candidate Peter Obi joined the protests, reinforcing calls for mandatory real-time transmission. Now, for civic groups, organizations like the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, IReV, have openly backed the protests, calling the Senate's decision unfair and warning of a democratic erosion. The Labour Union warning, that's the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), has threatened wider nationwide protests and even election boycotts if the matter isn't resolved with clearer provisions for electronic transmission. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) is urging the National Assembly's Harmonization Committee to adopt the version of the bill passed by the House of Representatives, which included mandatory real-time transmission. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar criticized the choice to retain manual collation as a fallback, saying it could undermine the integrity of the elections. So what happens next? The Senate and House of Representatives have created a conference committee to resolve the difference between their versions of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Lawmakers are under strong pressure to reflect public demands for real-time electronic transmission before the bill can be signed into law. The stakes are really high. For many Nigerians, This is not a technical argument, it is a moral test. Protect democracy with clear, transparent processes, or preserve loopholes that critics say invite dispute and manipulation. The 2027 elections are still over a year away, but the debate over how votes are counted and made public is already shaping the country's democratic future. This is CorperNews. You can join the conversation. Thank you for watching.